Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders, I'm Roy, Coach Destroyer, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Wandogs.
And
Coach Governor.
Now, before we clicked record, Warndog was up and about.
Oh, wouldn't he ever?
He said this is going to be the best preview of the pre-season.
Yeah. It'll go close.
Who we got, Dog?
We've got the Fremantle Dockers.
Oh,
here we go. Which we don't often get too excited about.
No, we don't.
I do. I love Freo.
Hey, Calvin, you look good in purple.
I do. I always know about Freo.
Are you?
Yeah. Oh,
Right,
yeah.
tell us why they're someone to watch.
I guess
Dog.
the big thing about them, they are an improving side, which can often correlate for fantasy. So
Definitely.
they won their elimination final last year, lost a close game in the semi to Collingwood. So they'll probably want to be better. Most clubs do.
Correct.
And so let's
Off to
hope.
a great start here, Roy.
Let's hope that they are. Now, they were good. They were the fourth highest fantasy scoring
like
fantasy
that.
team.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, okay.
They were right up there with that. So that's something to know. And it's a lot of it does come from what we see out of the midfield.
Yes.
So, and we'll talk about all the players there, but Andy Brayshaw is the main man, and we'll talk about him. So he had a stranglehold on the centre bounces.
Stranglehold?
6% of those
Did you
he took.
pre-write that?
No, I probably could have done.
That's great.
Good, yeah. Sorry,
Sorry,
play on.
Put in there.
Use
So
that a bit
he
more.
had the most there for them. Will Brodie had 68%.
What hole did he have?
Sarong had 66%. So they were the three big dogs in there. Mundy very close behind at 65, but they were basically the four midfielders that they ran through there and didn't really have. They had a few bit players, but didn't really have anyone else jumping in and taking big midfield
The amazing
blocks.
thing there, so Will Brodie, did you say 68%?
66%. 68% for Brodie. Yep.
Yeah, that's
a lot.
phenomenal considering
Unbelievable.
how long he was on the pine.
And Sarong's the same like that. So both of those guys were very well managed for time on ground throughout the season. Did increase as the season went on, but there's still significant percentages. So they were. The story is that's what they did. Now they've lost Mundy because he's retired.
Yep.
So there'll be someone coming in there.
There's a big hole.
We'll get to that. Let's start with Andy Brayshaw then. So he's
I'm going to sit here
top
right
dollar,
to the end.
$995,000. What? $995,000.
Yeah.
That's what you will pay for
Sale of the century.
Andy Brayshaw. That's because he averaged 112.4.
I've seen him pop up in some people's teams.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
I don't know if it is. That's a little...
So
He hasn't maxed out, that dude.
you
No,
talk
I know.
about meat on the bone, cow.
Exactly.
Do you know he scored 121, 127 in his two finals appearances, which that 112.4 average bumps up to 113.3.
Oh, he's unders.
He's
I tell you what, no, he is unders because that guy is doing nothing but improving.
Okay, so he had that top score of 181, which was in round two and made people go, hello, we need him. And those people that were early adopters, early buyers, really got a massive leg up.
Too
from
right,
that.
they
You know what pees me off about that? If we did it ourselves, chaser, you get labelled a chaser.
Yeah.
But anyone who did that,
Genius.
and it's such an understandable thing to do.
Yeah.
You log in, dude's had 181, you get him, but they were rewarded.
Oh, yeah.
So, the issue though, and this is where I feel like maybe he's overs. Not necessarily because of that 181, but that does bump an average up, of course.
It's fair to say it
but
bumps it up.
he had a few tags. So, like that week after the 181 that he scored, he had Nelson. He had 27 at half time. But he did take that to 95 when the tag was lifted at half time.
Trade him back out.
So he went up to, like, that's the thing. Like, that second half is huge. 60-odd points there to be able to do that.
I remember him making a couple of saves against the tag.
So good players do,
Which
Roy.
they do, exactly right.
Right, so he had a handful of sub-90 scores through the year as well. I remember I captained one for a 70-odd as well.
I remember that. One of my happiest weeks of the year.
So I feel like there's possibly some regression there for Brayshaw, just because he might get more attention now.
Why would he get more... Surely last year he copped that attention and then I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, but I'm not
think he's-
paying for it. I'm not buying him. He's not a round one starter for me.
No, if you were a Freo fan, and there's a lot of them, because over there, they're fantasy mad, I think I'd tick it off.
Yes,
If he's your favourite player...
Where does he sit in your rolling 22 then, do you think?
Oh.
Is he in the 8? Yeah.
Hell yeah,
God,
he is.
God,
He's
yes.
top. He's top 2.
Yeah.
I didn't bump
So
him
if there's the 112.4, what does he do next year?
at least
same?
115.
I think
whoa.
I think he gets.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah,
114,
like, I think he's that good.
114, 115 mark.
Well, he could be a very good early pick in your keeper league. If you've got a startup keeper league,
Oh, goodness.
he's nearly the guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to say this, and are we worried
I
about?
don't mind it.
Are we worried about the injury for Sam Walsh or whatever? But like going, would you pick him ahead of Sam Walsh? He's got 2 years on him, doesn't he? I think.
Yeah, but Sam's not pumping out 112s with tags.
Look, I tick it off, dog.
Yeah, it's good. All right, let's keep going. Now, Will Brodie was one of the big stories of last year for fantasy.
What a gun!
Oh,
How good was that?
His trek over to the west from Gold Coast and got a game when he wasn't
got
getting
a
a game.
game. Couldn't get one there.
No.
And in the midfield, as we mentioned there, the second most for the midfielders with percentage of CBAs. So he averaged 95.4, played all 22 games, a keeper for the year after being that.
Wow.
I think he was sub 400k priced to start with.
Yeah.
He's the
Bloody
poster
brilliant.
child of a mid-pricer.
367 off the top of my head, Roy.
So,
you go.
was it?
I think so.
Well done.
Thank you.
Awesome.
He did have a couple of lower scores in let's call it around 20-ish or so.
Okay.
But then came in the grand final when a few people had their luxury trade time. Get rid of him. Scored 117 in the fantasy grand final.
Bang. I think he had a little dip pre-buys and people
Might
were
have
like,
been a time to
he's
go as
done,
well,
he's
yeah.
done. Flicked him off.
not done.
No, he was
For
not.
those with bad teams where you can't afford to trade blokes like that,
That's
like
a
me,
win.
it was very
Yeah.
good to have that. What does he do this year?
95 is a lot.
Yeah, he's
a lot, all
He's
right.
definitely topped out a fair bit, and he obviously had the forward status last year as well. So,
What if he's had a big pre-season and more time on ground?
Oh, geez.
well, we did talk about Mundy retiring. There's other players there. We've got Sarong. His time on ground increased. I don't know.
That was supposed to be his breakout year.
Yeah. So is it this year?
Did he break out in the finals? He had 122 and 118.
That's
Yeah.
what he can do. That's
So
why we're
he
so
improves
excited
on that
about it.
87.7.
I believe he does.
100% he does.
I thought he would have got to 100 last year.
Brodie might drop a little bit. Sarong is the one that goes up. But with Mundy out, their new inclusion of Jager O'Meara.
That's massive.
He's the one that probably clocks up a few minutes in the midfield from now on, which he
100%.
wasn't getting at the Hawks. So
Who was?
He was pushed out.
Good mids don't.
No.
Pushed out there. So he was only 61% of the CBAs at Hawthorn, which was down from 73% the year before.
Okay.
So that's what the story of him and his average. So, average of 82.1. That's not a true
No way.
representation because he's been a 90s guy. Like, he likes Walkmans and Nirvana and all that sort of stuff. I think I've seen him in his happy pants like MC Hammer over the
100%.
time.
He's coming off a
Always
96.
been 90s.
Yeah.
His average is over 90, career.
Yeah.
He started with like a high 80s, like debut season.
Look,
so
the guys are going, it's such a good Mundy replacement. They've done
is.
so well there.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's unders, dog. If in draft you're
is
bumping
perfect
him up.
for. So
Yeah.
I think you got to be realistic with what you put him at. But I would be quite happy to look at him where 90 sits
Yes.
and pick him there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair.
Agree, 100%.
So anyway, a good pre-season watch there. Could at 82 he could offer some value in
100%
Classic
he
as
could,
well.
because
However,
I
I think
like how
you'd want
you've-
him an 82 up to 100.
Like you've given
You'd
him
probably
that
want.
90, which is very, very fair. It's 8-point increase. But man, oh man, he's just going to be part of that midfield rotation permanently for these guys.
Yeah. So the only other one, if we're going to talk some midfielders, you've got some of those young guys coming through. Erasmus is one there.
Yeah.
We'll talk about some of these little cash cows later on, but
I think they've shown
They-
they put their best four midfielders
and that's
in
what
there.
they did for the season.
Yeah.
So Nat Fyfe, he's not going to be in there. He's going to play more forward, so he's a no-go zone for Classic. The thing is, he got a discount because he played less than 10 games. His discount came off his 2021 average, which is priced at 77. That's not great.
No.
For Classic.
No.
With that mid-forward status, which is nice, but he's got a 56 average next to his
That's
name.
the killer. Yeah.
So what you're going to do with that in draft, even as a forward, he goes 70.
Yeah.
100% he
So
does.
he's a bench, have a crack at the bench when it's getting there for your draft.
He's
And
way better than that.
Your forwards do drop off pretty quickly, so it might be before bench in some leagues, especially if you've got a few
Oh, it will be.
forwards to pick.
Big time.
But
You have to scroll down
I'll
a
be
fair
going
bit.
early on that.
But
Like,
he's
because it's Nat Fyfe.
You love a name.
5. Come on.
You love a name.
All right. He could be your last selection there.
Even
on
if he
the field or
doesn't
something.
clap at the Jack Jumpers games.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'd bump him back down a couple
Couple of points, yeah.
You just get around
Staring
him
at
a
me
little
at the
bit.
Jack Jumpers game. He wanted an autograph. He wanted some tips for his fantasy team, I
Not
think.
surprised.
Not surprised.
He wanted some tips on how to clap.
Yeah.
You got to get around the Jackies.
Do you know
if
you
you're
do?
Jackies.
You do. Their ruck is Sean Darcy.
Correct.
760K you'll pay for him. Now, Lob's gone. Meek's gone, who was his understudy. So they've gone all in on Luke Jackson, basically those two playing in, I'll call it in tandem. However, how much does he play in the ruck, though, Luke Jackson?
Well,
More than Lob?
Yes.
Yes.
More than Lob.
yeah, more than Lob.
So,
I just don't know if Jackson offers as much forward
No.
as...
But there was a
Everyone
time, even
seems
at
to
Melbourne,
think.
where he was saying he wanted to be a midfielder. He had a couple of wicked highlights as the ruck, just grabbing the ball and getting out of there.
Oh, he can certainly do that.
So, yeah, but I'm with you. I think, yeah, more opportunities.
It's definitely
but
Darcy.
Yeah, I'm 100%. What's the split, though, do you think? 70-30?
yeah. Which Darcy hasn't really had to... Didn't have that next swing a lot. He had a couple of games where he did play with Meek and stuff, but I don't know. His average of 85.8 is down from his 93.9, so almost there. Well, 8 points difference in that.
Even though he got on the park a lot last year, he still feels like a disaster waiting to happen too.
Yeah,
Darcy.
we've always thought that. Last 2 years, though, it was 19 and 21 games,
Yeah.
so he's getting better
And
for
he
that.
pushed through things where he was basically written off. They're like,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
going to miss a month.
That's it.
And of all people to push through and play,
Yep.
it was big dust.
So a big part of him is about the draft rankings because you're going to have to obviously have a ruck. You're going to go English, Marshall, Grundy, Gone, Rob. Like, that's the thing. Like, you might want to avoid those guys that are going to go before him. He's probably the best of the guys that were sub-90s from last year.
Probably.
You can't go wrong with a guy like that late in
Which
the
you can
draft.
get him later. It's not going to be late because he's got a name.
Yeah.
People are going to get him.
Yeah.
But they're probably going to
You're
pick.
going to have to try.
I just think in draft with all these rucks and all these question marks over people, you just don't touch them.
Nah, you're going to have to handcuff him. You're going to have
Yes.
to get Jackson with your next pick.
Too right,
if
you would.
get Darcy.
Yeah. Pocket. Put him in the pocket.
Put him in the pocket.
Right. Haven't finished yet because
Anyone
there's
else?
other players to talk about, like their defenders. Hayden Young. Next big thing
yes.
he
I
will
like
be.
it, yeah.
87.6 average, which is up from the 82. So he's had a very good start to his career. Like, I really like him. He's
He's
got
a
a
jet.
ceiling. His top scores were 119, 122, 132. Could he be a top 10 defender with a 90-plus average?
Yes, he could.
Too right, he could.
Yep, he's
so,
great.
likes the way, like, marks and kicks is where his scores come from as
Yeah,
well.
they help.
So he's up from a 69 from the previous year. So massive breakout year for him. Where does
was
he?
it?
Yeah, does he sit in the rolling?
He's knocking on the door.
Knocking on the door.
Knocking on the door.
I think with your rolling sometimes, if you're not quite sure, you just put him at the door.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice... Yeah, it's got a ring to it. Yeah,
Yeah, so-
why not? No,
yeah.
you can't fit them all in, mate. There's only 6 spots.
Well, that's it though, and there's a good 6 back there.
There certainly is.
Especially like the good 6 for the Dockers has Luke Ryan, who is just pretty good. Calvin had him in draft one year.
He can win
One
you.
game last
He
year.
can win
He's
your
good
game
for
off
you.
his own back.
Oh, too right he can.
Yeah.
Jordan Clark too was pretty good. And then that Heath Chapman, he's another one that's coming on. So you've got guys there which could be the issue for Young in the sense that
Third year breakout.
there's points all around.
Yeah,
So,
but they just like it in his hands.
So right they
fine.
do.
He'll improve on that.
I wouldn't be surprised if this year he cops a little bit of a back tag from time
Really?
to time. He's that good. I reckon he gets it.
Tag.
right, some cash cows. They've got a couple worth monitoring. Corey Wagner, you might remember him, was a North Melbourne and Melbourne player. Only played 19 games, average of 45.
I remember
Not great.
Wags, yeah.
So they picked him up with pick 57, and he's a 27-year-old.
Oh,
mature
yeah.
age. That's very mature. That's getting to the end. So he's
say he's too old.
He's getting.
Too mature.
He's a basement price. So 200K defender mid status. Am I right with that? Hang on.
Yeah, he's a
I'm wrong
defender
with that.
He's defender mid, 200.
Yep.
Oh,
Wags,
right.
yeah.
Yep.
Don't doubt yourself, dog. Back yourself in.
I'm just trying to work out
It
where I
just seems too cheap.
yeah.
He did.
That's what he thinks.
I know this is dragging.
In the
dog. Stick
VFL
with it.
last year, 85 he averaged from 15 games.
Yeah.
Doesn't the VFL.
We keep a very close eye on that.
We definitely
Is
do.
he just there
Yeah.
to plug a hole
No, Wagner's
Or have
285.
they just gone-
I stuffed that up. They were my bad notes.
285.
Oh, really?
That's okay.
285.
Too much. Crossy off your list.
Oh, no, it's not, because that's still rookie price.
It is.
For someone that can average 85 from 15 games in the VFL,
Yep.
it's good enough. The other one is Matthew Johnson. Didn't play a game in his first season with the Dockers. Averaged 71 from 14 games for Peel in the Waffle. So, yeah, just one to watch.
Yeah, if they're named, they're in, as far as I'm concerned.
He was in some pre-season training notes. He kicked a winning goal in some match simulation before Christmas.
What more can he do?
Well, not much more than that.
Another one there is Sam Sturt, who played a couple of
Sam's
games.
back again, is he?
He's now 22 years old.
I reckon.
We'll still be
He's
talking
played-
about him at 32.
He played 4 games in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really just mentioning him because he just deserves to be mentioned
Look-
as a 200k forward.
Yes.
He might be a chance.
Yep.
Hey, it's a name. You can just jot it down. You
Yeah.
don't have to use it.
No, you don't.
You don't have to sleep with it. You just write it down.
There we go.
Done.
Yeah, no, well done.
Jeez.
All right, I think that is Fremantle finished.
Yeah,
Well-
there's heaps of good names. I'll be
There
watching.
are.
I'll be watching Fremantle this
You know
year.
the interesting
It's official.
thing, though? There are so many good names that you've talked about there, but not one of them will make my team.
What?
Name one of those guys that make your team.
Can't. Sorry.
What? No, you can't.
No, definitely not.
You just can't do it.
Who will you pick, dog?
Out of those guys.
God, you used to be the biggest Bray lover, and now you're...
Yeah.
No, you can't pick Brayshaw at that price.
You're not going Will Brodie. Sarong, no. Hayden Young, maybe, but geez, it's... But no, he's a lot. Darcy, no. O'Meara, no. But yeah, you know, like but it's a no.
If one of these cash cows come through,
The only
which
one
are
I'm
probably
looking at
pushing a
is-
fair bit uphill.
Is
Sarong, you know, he'll average 100 one day.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Wags
This time last year, you thought he
Wags
was
the
going
dog.
to average it last year.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes. I was way off.
No, I'm only looking at Sam Sturt and Wags the dog. Done. Tick it off, dog.
Is that it?
Good sell, dog.
Well done.
Yeah. Just bump them up your draft order.
There you go, draft.
100%. They're draft relevant.
Too right.
We love our Western Australian friends.
Oh, yeah.
Got to be nice to them, Cow.
I am
like you
nice
are.
to them. I love them.
100%.
Got to be good. All right, thanks for tuning in. We'll have some more podcasts coming through our feed. You can catch those on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Make sure you do the whole follow thing there. And keep clicking back to afl.com.au and opening up the AFL Live app so you can catch all of our articles.